Hey everyone, Sheila here from Life with Pets. So it's that time of year when people are getting ready to maybe go on vacation or go away just for a few days, and we are no exception to that. We are getting ready for a vacation to celebrate our son's graduation, and we have got a new pet sitter taking care of our animals. So I thought I would do a video just showing how we prepare for going on vacation and what we leave so that the pet sitter knows what to do. Now, I'm sure everybody does this differently, so this is just what we do in making sure that they know, how to care for the animals, especially this time as the new pet sitter is not that familiar with fish. So we have had to really go overboard with instructions and that sort of thing so that she's not stressing out over the fish. She's very into dogs, and that is why we chose her, because the dogs obviously need somebody that they can really bond with, and they absolutely adore her. And so we have just left very, very specific instructions for her on what to do with the fish. And really, there's not a great deal, because as you can see here, this is me doing all the water changes for going away so that they're all done, so she doesn't have to do anything like that at all. All she's actually going to do is feed them, and I'm going to show you how we did that, because I was concerned about overfeeding, because obviously we don't want the tank to get out of balance while we're gone, because then there's nothing we can do about it. So I did do all the tanks, all 7 tanks got a water change, just their regular water change, as we're only going to be away for a week, and we do water change once a week anyway. So this is like right before we're going away. We did the water changes, so nothing changes there for the fish. I then went ahead and then wrote out sort of a big long list of sheet instructions, and where the dogs were concerned, I labelled all the medication and made sure that it was clear which dog had what medication. And then with the fish, again, we did a big long list of instructions, but then I did go ahead and do index cards and get little boxes that we can then put the fish food in so that there's no risk of overfeeding. So these are the index cards that we did, and basically, although it might seem really, really simple for somebody, with having so many tanks, those of us that are into fish know what a 10-gallon tank looks like, or a 20-gallon tank, whereas to somebody who is not really into fish, they have not got a clue what a 10-gallon tank is. So we were very specific on the cards, the fish that were in it, the size of the tank, and then when to feed them. We did go ahead and get these medication boxes. They're basically boxes that you put your medication in so that you know when to take them and on what days. These were 88 cents from Walmart, and I just thought these would be fantastic for putting the amount of fish food in that you want feeding and on what days. We decided that we were only going to feed 2 days while we were away, because we would feed them the day we leave, and then obviously we will feed them the day we get back. So we're only going to have a feed just for 2 days while we're gone, and I just measured out what I would normally feed the fish and then put them in the days that we want them fed. So that is so simple. She hasn't got to stress about, is she feeding too much? We're not worrying about, is she overfeeding and is it going to upset the balance of the tank? I mean, I don't think if you overfed too much it would make that much difference, but obviously you don't want the fish overeating and then getting sick or anything like that. So this way it just eliminates any issues with overfeeding, because we are responsible for how much food she's going to put into the tank. So I do think that this is a really good option, especially if you have people that aren't familiar with taking care of fish, because let's face it, we all like to feed our fish, and to somebody who doesn't have fish, then it will probably seem like a very small amount of food. I did get several of these boxes, and I did go ahead and fill them all up and then put them on top of the tanks, and I'll show you that when I've finished doing all the water changes. All our tanks get water changed once a week. other than the baby goldfish, so that is no different with being away. The goldfish tank, the pothos, just in case you're wondering, the green part is not actually in the tank, it's just hanging at the back of the tank. So it does look like it's in the tank, but it's not. It's just on the outside of the glass, hanging down at the back. I did give the tanks sort of an extra cleaning when we were doing them. I did go over with the magnet for getting rid of any algae. We just did our regular amount for water changes. I didn't do any water changes any larger. When we do the water changes, we do use the pond pump to fill all the tanks back up, and I will leave a link to those in the description box below. We do get asked an awful lot about how do we do water changes. With having the 7 tanks, this is a really quick way of doing them, and also while one is either emptying or filling, then I am usually working on the other one. So while the goldfish one was filling, I had emptied the 75-gallon to where I wanted it, and then as soon as the goldfish tank is then filled up, I then will just move the hose across and then fill up the next tank. So all the tanks have had water changes and they're all ready now for us to go on vacation. The thing that you need to make sure with divided tanks is that your pet sitter is familiar with them. When ours saw a divided tank, she said she'd never seen anything like it, and if we hadn't have told her to make sure that you put food in on both sides, she wouldn't have known to do that. So make sure that if you have a divided tank that you're very clear on those instructions, because at the end of the day, for us that are into the fish hobby, it may not be a big deal to have a divided tank, and we just assume people know what they are. So I was quite shocked when she sort of said, wow, what is that? And she'd never seen anything like it, because to me, obviously it's a normal thing because we're in the hobby, and especially on social media, you see lots of people with them. And so you just need to make sure that they are aware of there are 2 sides with 2 fish and they both need food. And talking about food, we have kept it very, very simple for while she is taking care of them. As you all know, we do feed a very wide variety of food, but just to make it so much easier for her, we're just going to use dry pelleted food so that she doesn't have to worry about frozen food or gel food. So we've just made it very, very simple, and it's all pellet food, and as I showed you, it's all going to be in those pill boxes, so she doesn't even have to worry about how many pellets or measuring it out or messing with teaspoons. We've just made it as simple as possible. Once I had done all the water changes on the tanks, I then went round and stuck the index cards to the tank so that she knows exactly what is the tank and when to feed them. And then I just put the pill box above it so that she then knows, okay, this is the basic community tank and I'm feeding on Wednesday and Friday. That just makes it really, really simple. She's not stressing out over it. And like I say, I'm not worrying over, is she feeding too much? Did she remember to feed? What did she feed? And that way there's no miscommunication. So on the divided tank, I was very specific that it's 3 pellets per side. And that way, again, she knows she's feeding both sides. And I'm not worrying about one fish not getting fed and one fish maybe being overfed. So again, on your cards, if you do decide to do something like this, or on your instructions in general, I think it is very important to be very specific, because for us taking care of our fish, everything we do is just a natural thing to do, because obviously we know what we're doing, we know how to take care of fish. But for somebody who's not sure on how to take care of them, having it all written out on a list or on a card would be very beneficial for them. So we are all set up and ready to go. Our pet sitter has been around for just one final visit to go over questions that have resulted obviously from the cards that we've put up and from the list that we left out, and we are now ready to go on vacation. So we are really looking forward to it. It will be a very welcome break, and the animals, I am sure, will be very well taken care of. The week we're on vacation, we will have a video go out as normal. We usually do pre-record record our videos and then schedule them for each week. So even though we're on vacation, there will be no break in videos. The only thing I will say is we may not be as active on our social media or getting back to you in the comments, and that's just simply one, because we're on vacation and taking a break, and also I don't know how well the Wi-Fi will be with where we're going. Let me know in the comments box below how you prepare for going on vacation when leaving your animals. If you're not subscribed to this channel and would like to see more videos like this, then please do so. If you haven't hit that notification bell and you want to know when we upload another video, if you just press that, then it will notify you when we upload. Okay guys, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.